Hey, you guys. This is the double attack. I'm gonna call it the double attack E-Man show. I was on the line earlier with my significant other over here, uh, Beauty and the Beast. And no, I ain't the Beast. I better stop saying that. But she wanted to talk about something, so I say, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I told her. She was like, but I got 15 likes. I said, oh, you ain't got to rub it in now. I said, oh, snap, you think you a YouTuber now.
No, don't put me on the spot.
And so, I know ain't nobody here right now because they probably on somebody else's show. But she wanted to talk about why God's people are so blind. And trust me, when she talk about God's people so blind, she can talk. See, unlike me, I talk for about 15 minutes. She might be talking to y'all about 30 minutes, 45 minutes when she started talking. And so if y'all got a comment, leave a comment, and I guess she'll read it. I'll be right here with her. And so she wanna get some stuff off her chest. You know how folks, when they get all that good stuff on their mind, you got to give them a platform so they can hey hey hey. And so she gonna talk to y'all about why she think God's people are so blind. And here she go. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to say. Well, um, I believe. Well, I can say me personally. I believe that while a lot of us is really so blind and that we cannot see the truth or hear the true men of or the women of men of God speaking to us because it started and well, I'm not gonna say not all churches, but I'm gonna say some. It started in the pulpit, and the reason why I couldn't see certain changes in my life and out here in the world because um the church that I go to I mean the church that I attend, it was always about the Bible. It was I mean, which nothing wrong with, about the story of Moses, Daniel, um Jesus and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff like I didn't know about CERN or AI. It was a lot of stuff that's um wasn't being very taught um not just to me but a lot of people. And so when you hear people saying, well, this is our change, this is what's going on, and you kind of question yourself, like, because me, what I was telling earlier, that I thought my husband was crazy because I was like, how can God? It was like more a question, like, well, how can God allow the enemy to do this? And it was like a lot of time God do something is not like logic. Sometimes we try to find the logic or truth in things. And so I didn't see the spiritual side of it. So I was looking more in the natural. So I was driving myself crazy trying to figure out certain things. And one day the Lord had really spoke to me and wouldn't let me rest and wouldn't let me sleep. It was like he was picking at me. And so when he started revealing some things to me, I was like, oh my God, I owe him an apology. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of people have to understand. I like truth, and I try to find the logic in everything, and I think a lot, and a lot of time, like I was telling my husband, sometimes you have to be patient with people because it's not really a lot of the church, as I can say, the pastors, the deacon. A lot of time with my husband, reveal things to the pastor or the minister. Um, some of them has a hard time but believing, and most of them don't reject, some do, and they just don't know. So a lot of time they don't know. They only teach their experience or what was passed down to them. And so a lot of this stuff I had to learn on my own. A lot of this stuff that I like really had to learn on my own. I heard people say some things, or even I got curious one time, some couple of times, and I brought it to God. So a lot of time people just don't know, and it started. Not gonna say every church or every leader's like that, but a lot of time people just
Hey,
don't
hey,
know
hey.
they in that's carnal minded. They don't really have that spiritual side of things. And most of the time, when you go to church, they don't teach you how to tap into that spiritual side of God. And a lot of time people looking in the natural. So I had to some things I had like really had to learn on my own. And so I'm being awakening, and I'm constantly asking God to open up my eyes and let me see and tap into some things. So yeah.
So, 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 what do you think it'll take for the community as a whole, and the Mandela effect community? What tools you think that we need to do to get people awoke? Because see, you was asleep too, so
Mhm.
and it took you a long time,
Mhm.
and so
Well,
woo,
it started with yourself. It's you not just you, but everybody else gave us the tool. Well, me, I'm speaking for myself. The tools was out there. It's on that individual. So it was like I said, I didn't have that spiritual mind, and it was hard for me to get on that level that you guys was on. And a lot of time, I'm not saying that I was afraid of the truth. I just didn't see it was. I'm like, well, I don't believe. I was dumb. I don't believe that God. I was like, well, I don't believe that God would allow this and blah blah blah. But I was so dumb, and I can admit that. And a lot of time people don't wanna see the truth. They don't want to. And then a lot of time, most people is not spiritual.
hold on for a second.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, I ain't know. It must be kind of late over there where you at. 11 o'clock. Oh, okay. We're gonna do some live shows early, and so like you said 11 o'clock, and so since she works every day, I might have to do a live show for you maybe on Friday to Saturday at 12 o'clock. How that sound? That way you can be fresh
Hmm.
and you can be engaged. Cause I don't know what time zone you in. No, I think what does the person is? So that, no, I forget where you was. Where you from? But we'll try to do a show for you on Friday and Saturday. That way, we give everybody some information.
Right.
Everybody can take part. But I'm glad you came to the show. Um, okay, but yeah, okay, Sweden. Yeah, yeah. And so I thank you for being here. And you from Sweden, so you have a sweet day. Oh, good. Go ahead. And so I was asking a question. What you think it takes to help wake other people up, or should we just leave them alone?
Uh, yes and no. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep speaking the truth, and a lot of time it's fall on the individual. It's fall on the person, because I believe we all has a responsibility and held accountable for um when when God, and when God, God may say, well, I don't know, there's no excuse, because to me we all held accountable, because I mean God was seeing, no, hey, you had this opportunity when this person tried to tell you the truth, or it's not gonna even hurt you, go check it out, or go um you know you have a deep relationship with God to pray on it. It's not gonna hurt you, it's not gonna you know harm you. So there's really it's really fall on, like, church. When you go to church, the pastor's doing his or her job to give you the tool and feed you what do you need to grow, and how to live your life, in a well, we're not perfect, but how to live your life that's pleasing to God. But if you don't take heed to what that pastor say, and don't study, and don't pray on it, and you have to apply it into your life,
Okay,
then it's on you.
okay. But I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
How about these crooked pastors that ain't talking about no truth, or they lying, and they
It's
just
when you
want you,
know what.
they
I'm
want
sorry.
your
You can go.
money,
I'm sorry.
they want your money,
Uh-huh.
or they want your daughters,
Uh-huh.
or they want you,
Right.
and they just not really there for God.
Right. It's fall on you. Like I said, when I started I started hearing the voice of God, and I knew He started pulling me and giving me vision of the path that He wanted me to take. And God would all well, this was the Holy Spirit revealed to me. He tells me, he one day He revealed to me, He said, um I want you to study. I don't believe what come out the pulpit. When he was talking, it started with my pastor. He said, when he say something, or anybody say something to you, don't just believe it. I want you to do your homework and research. And when I did that, I have found that some pastor was telling the truth, and some like really didn't know. But like I said, it fall on each individual, because you have to have discernment. You have to know, hey, that okay, it's like this. If you go into the church, I'm not saying all pastor and all leaders is bad, but if you go into the church, and you should have some type of discernment, hey, that pastor or whoever in that church is leading you into the wrong direction, in the wrong way. It's your responsibility to get out, because this is your soul. This is, you don't want nobody to, well, this is just me. I don't want nobody to lead me in the wrong direction, the wrong way. So since I tap into some things with God, I have really seen some things that was like hidden when people can't see. I have seen things how people just walking around, and just walking, drinking a cup of coffee, doing some things, and God showing me some things out in the open, and I'm like, okay, God, nobody else don't see this. I must be crazy. But when you have a relationship with God, He will reveal some things to you, and so it's your responsibility as whatever you consider yourself to be, a Christian or a Baptist, whatever. It's your responsibility to, you know, tap into what God wanted, with your purpose, and the things that He wanted you to accomplish. And a lot of people just go there, and they just sit there, and they believe everything that the pastors say, and I like to question myself. I don't believe what people say, and just okay. No, I want to challenge that person and say, okay, I don't
Like my
believe that.
coworker is a big Baptist minister, and as
Eh,
his side job, he said it's always been the wolf.
what do you mean by that?
I mean, they talking about Isaiah 11:6, where it says the lion will lay down
Uh huh.
with the lamb,
Okay.
and what? See, this is why these scriptures are important. A lot of people say, "Oh, why the lion doesn't lay down with the lamb?" Is so dramatized because the wolf represents the devil,
Right.
and the lion represents the Lion of Judah,
Mhm.
and it's still both of them an animal, but you have to look at the significance of the symbolization of the characters. You know, that's what parables and stuff like that were. They was a parable
Mhm.
of examples of what he was trying to bring out
Right.
Jesus. And so you can make a
Mhm.
you can identify anything and tell me what the meaning is,
Right.
and use any animal, but the problem is when you define what that animal place is, like the the wolf in sheep clothing. Um, uh, um, um, and stuff like that. You defining what that animal is and what the representation of that animal is. And so when you do that and you change the scripture, now you change the place
Right.
of what the animal are.
Right.
Yeah, and so now you changing the place of the representation of the
Wait.
identified animal that you already gave me the reason what the animal's for. Okay, the wolf was the well, yeah, and I remember the line, yeah, me
Right.
too. And so that's the a lot of people say, but why is it happening, or what is the significance of the Mandela effect, or why do we talk about the Mandela effect? See, the Mandela effect is just a coin on what people decided to call the situation. The situation was happening, and it didn't have a name. It was just so we just used that for identification of the situation. But the importance of it is when you if you stop paying attention, you can get tricked up.
Right.
And they using this technology for their own
Right.
purpose to align something up. It's just like the chess. You move your pieces and in places to get ready to attack or to situate the pieces so that you can knock over the king. And so the devil thinks he's situating his pieces so that he can be in a better attack
Right.
mode for Jesus. And we are the pawns,
Mhm.
and we have knights, and I'll say the knights are the deacons, and the bishops
Mhm.
are the pastors. And we are in the way of the devil, so he
Right.
wants to knock us out the way so that he can position
Right.
himself for the attack on Jesus
Right.
and what he stands for.
And to me, the he is manipulation. He has to water down the God's word. That's why a lot of time when people doing something, they like what I notice is to most um people that's a believer, they go along with everything. They don't really, not saying all, but most of them does not tell the truth. They just, and a lot of times people that's I don't want to say sinners, but I don't know what words to use. But I'm just say sinners. A lot of time they don't know because people won't tell them the truth, that it's being watered down. And instead of you telling your brothers and sisters, okay, the truth, um, they go along with a lot of stuff. And so that's why a lot of, to me, that's, well, one of the reasons why most of the time the world is so messed up. But the enemy has to do manipulation, and and to me, it's to try to get us to fight one another, and so to throw us off track. But
And, and so a lot of people don't understand that we already been warned that this was going to happen. So ignoring it ain't going to make it not
right,
happen. Our job is to be lights.
right,
God said we are the light of the world. We are the salt. And so have our salt lost its savor? Are we supposed to season and we supposed to light up
hmm,
the world so that people can see? And the problem is we have a lot of people that says they are a beacon of light and they don't have no luminosity.
hmm,
Their luminance down. They can't nobody see their light.
hmm,
They're in a dark place.
hmm. Okay, can I have a question? I have a question for
Um,
you. A question for you. Um, how come? Well, I believe some pastors should. I'm not gonna say all, but the one that we come in contact with. Okay, I always see them as they the head. They the head, and God said in His word that He give us past after His own heart to feed us knowledge and
now see
understanding.
that's
How come they don't see?
the
How
problem
come
is
they
that,
don't see?
that's the
And they
problem.
up there, they close by God.
That's the problem with folks. We put the pastors as heads. It's only one head.
Right, I understand
It's
that, but
it's
they
it's it's,
chiefs.
it's, it's only one head. It's a whole lot of a whole lot of shepherds,
Right. They
but
shepherds
it's
are
only
and
one
shepherdess.
head
Sorry.
because
Shepherdess.
that's what's wrong. We done took these pastors and put them in the wrong place.
Hmm.
We decided that we were gonna make them heads over us instead of making them be
No,
shepherds
I'm
and
trying to say,
leaders.
let me
So
rephrase. They
so
are leaders. They supposed to be really close to God.
well
They are shepherds and we are sheeps and their job is to lead us in the right direction
well
and feed
because
us. So I'm not gonna say all of them, but the one that we come in contact with, how come they are so well some like just having them is so blind and some um they open about it. They say, "Wow, I didn't know that," and they so hungry and they want you to feed them the word, and some will just fight with you. And I'm looking like, okay,
that's because they at this stage in their life that somebody that's beneath them can't feed them knowledge. That the only person that can give them knowledge is God. That a little person like me or you, we can't tell them nothing because we are not where they at. You know, they up on a pedestal and we can't get to them. And so that's the reason why these big pastors are not listening because they think, well, if something's going on, God will give me the discernment to know, or He would tell me. But what they don't understand is God said you better watch
mm-hmm.
well as pray.
Right, he did.
He said that he said, my people are ignorant of the devil's devices. He didn't say he was going to tell you what the devil's devices were. You're supposed to be watching and praying. And because you're not watching and praying and you're trying to tax the people with these tithes and these offerings, we, 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 they done got to a point where, they don't understand the importance of watching their surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
That they don't know that the devil is taking out the back door while they putting in the front door. People coming in the front door and he taking out the back door, and they don't even know the back door is open. And so, and the alarm, they don't even have an alarm system on the back door to let them know that the devil is taking out the back door.
Yes, I
So
see
he
what you mean.
taking, as they bring in, he's taking out. And we done got to a point where our authority don't mean nothing. The Christian, the church used to be the influencers. Now we being influenced. We used to be the changer. We used to change things, and now we accepting. And so, because it's like that, God said that if His people would turn away from their wicked ways, then He will heal the land. And that's the reason why we had to look in the mirror and wonder, what are we doing to why our world is like this? Because we done turned away from listening
Mm-hmm.
to hearing God. God's been speaking, but we ain't been listening. We've been taking the Bible and referencing Daniel and the lion's den and we represent Moses and Pharaoh and all of these people. But he said, I got a right now message for you.
Right.
And because you're not hearing me and you're not accepting the prophecy that I already put forth, that's why you can't see because you stuck in that and you got a lion. You in a den right now and you don't even know it. You don't know that you in the hell's kitchen right now because you blind. And he said the blind leads the blind. And so they all fall in the ditch. And because their eyes are not open and they can't see, God say that he's going to send a strong delusion too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if this part of his strong delusion as well as what the devil is doing. Because he said if they want to hear the lie, they going to let them hear it. If they want to they hear a lie, he going to let them hear it. And right now I see people want to talk about prosperity and edification,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't want to tell what the devil is doing is trying to side swipe us. I told my man Billy Graham died a couple of years ago now again. and 4 times now. They don't remember me talking to them. It's like I never told them. Yeah, and see, that's the reason why this is important because the devil has to divide, and the only way he can rule if he divide and
Right.
conquer. And so, what happens is God has given him authority to divide time,
Yes, I agree with that.
and so because he can divide time, he can situate people in a time frame that you never talk to them. Everything that can happen will happen and did happen and will happen, and he have a choice to where he wants to situate the pieces. And so when you talk to your family members and he wants to rearrange that, he had to do is change an S on stuff like Victoria's Secret, and now they in a different timeline than you are, and you don't even recognize it because they look the same, they smell the same, but their memories and their thought patterns are not the same. That's why Daniel 7:25 is that much important because he said he's going to think about time, laws, time, times, and divides of time. And so that's the reason why their memories are not the way that you think because he situates them in another parallel universe.
Right.
Well, another situation. It's like I was telling somebody else. You can have a piece of paper on the floor. When you passed it,
Right.
it was on the floor. When somebody else passed it, it wasn't on the floor.
Right.
It's because they're not in the same synchronization that you are in. And so I don't know if it's an active um, parallel universe going on where things that you see change they can't see right now
Mm-hmm.
because they're not in the same frequency that you are in. But I don't know how long God's going to give him this ability to manipulate time like this and divide the time. But he only got a short while. God's going to let him do is what he need to do to see if he can get many as off track as he can as he need to. Um. Okay, let's see. Damn, I keep arriving late. Ty, man, I need to hear that. Oh, thank you, thank you. I just heard reality is not fixed, so therefore things are always changing. Yes, me too. God stored to 5 months from the election. Okay, your wife is beautiful. Lucky guy. Ah, man. I see. That's why I want to check. Look, but and so when we try to pinpoint how and why family members don't see because the devil tried to wear us out.
Mm-hmm.
And so the easiest way to wear us out is to use the people that's close to us
Mm-hmm.
to cause us friction or cause us anger because we
Right.
wonder what's going on. He can't use something that don't affect you. And so he used whatever it takes to affect you. Because see, you remember in that Daniel 7 it says he's gonna think about he wants to wear out the saints. And so he wanna wear us down like a pencil. You know how you get sharp and then you get dull and then you sharpen yourself up and then you get dull? He wanna wear you out so that you won't be able to get sharp no more. He wanna shave you down to the bare bone. And the only way he can do that is he try to use the people that's close to you. Because that's what we do. We tend to turn to our loved ones and the people that we think won't hurt us or are there for us
Right.
for comfort and for some kind of normal plateau point.
Right.
But because the devil knows this, he's constantly flipping. So one day you might talk to them, they say, "Yeah, I remember that," and the next day you talk to them, they say, "No, I don't remember that." That's the art of confusion. See, we forget that's his whole.
Agenda.
That's who he is. He come to kill, steal, and destroy, and to cause confusion. That's his job. And I always heard a preacher say, "You can't blame a man for doing their job. You just got to be caught doing your job."
Right.
And so, if we get caught doing our job, whenever this flip flop happens, we just stay on course and just keep warning people, stand watchful as praying, and make sure that we don't get sidetracked. Um, any more? You got anything else to say? I ain't got no more. I just saying amen.
Okay.
Walk by faith and not by sight. By the Spirit. Yeah, there we go. We have been programmed into a physical world. Yeah, and see, I told somebody else this. This has always been a simulation. This has always been something that was pre-programmed, even if it was by God or what have you, because you forget what he says. I knew you before you was born. And so if he knew you before you was born, you was already set in place.
Right.
If he knew what you was gonna do tomorrow, that means he already know what you did. And so it's pre-programmed from who, it don't matter. But now the God's given the program, he's because see, a lot of people say, well, why do you get the devil a whole lot of attention? You got to remember what the word says. The word says the devil is the prince of of the earth, of the air. And so if he's the prince, we know who the king is.
Right.
The king is God. The prince is the devil. So, he might not have authority and the power that God has, but he's the prince.
Right.
So, he's the prince of the air. Uh, we were the first earth age when fallen was cast. And see, and so we have to just sit back, keep our whole armor on, and fight him at any point. And not let what he's doing stay in the closet. So many people say, well, don't talk about it all the time. See, that's what he don't want you to talk about it. He want to keep what he doing in the closet,
Right.
so that he can put his stuff as close as he can to everybody, so that it don't mean nothing to people. That's why he began to pump out these shows of parallel universes and futuristic things. I was looking at Netflix 2-3 months ago, and I seen a show where they had instead of food stamps, they had food boxes where they had to pick off what the list was, and and if they didn't have it on the list, they couldn't get it, and the family, uh, it was so much dictated that they couldn't even buy meat. And so when I heard that Trump and the elite wanted to cut off food stamps and give people food boxes, it wasn't shocking to me, because it's like they telling you what they gonna do right in front of you, and then you not paying attention and say, well, how they gonna do that? See, people, they let us. Most of the people that's on food stamps and public aid are the non-fortunate, and most of them depending on God. So most of them is Christian.
Right.
You might have some Catholics and some Jehovah's Witnesses and some Muslims in between all of that. But the people I know, that I've been walking in, the ones that have food stamps, they most believe in God and Jesus. And so he wants to get a point where he he wants you to depend on him. And so eventually these food boxes that they trying to come to decision is going to be a point where to get these food boxes, you're going to have an FID chip to scan to see what you capable of eating. If we're gonna give you some meat this month, or how many canned goods you're gonna get. So it's all a stepping stone. It's
Right.
all a process to get the elite so that we can be
Right.
under submission.
Right.
And people don't see it.
Hmm.
You know, the public aid didn't supposed to last this
Right.
long. It didn't. Actually, they got it after the war because of depression, and only Reagan extended it. And so it wasn't supposed to last that long anyway.
Can I say one thing? A lot of people does not understand that we are in a spiritual war between God and the devil, between good and evil. And it's not the fact that you how they say you giving him credit or why you always talking about Satan. Um, People need to know. A lot of time we need to know. You have to know what side you on. And a lot of time people are so blind and so deceived, and they don't, like I said, they don't know. They do not know. And most of the time people are sweeping things under the rug. And most, not gonna say all, but some people that I come in contact, because I was in a bubble and God had to bring me out that bubble. But a lot of times, because that's what taught to me, a lot of things that I didn't know, I had to learn on my own. And a lot of time we in a bubble. Um, God would allow certain things to happen for a reason, and there were certain things that had would happen in my life, and I'm like, okay, like what are you doing, God? Why did I got to go through this? And things happen for a reason, and a lot of time people don't know the enemy, and people don't know God, and so they just in the middle. And you have to know both sides. You have to know God is true. And so a lot of time people don't know that they are being deceived. Most of the time people just go along with the program. And you can't go along with the program. You have to, if you in the war, you gotta know your enemy. You gotta know your enemy strategy. You gotta know how they think, how they operate. You just can't be. God is one thing about I love Jesus. He's not gonna leave his people blind. He didn't leave me blind. He is gonna tell you some things of what's going on. And a lot of time people don't want it. They reject so many things. And not to talk about our friend, but our friend, we tried to warn him and tell him some things that going on, and he just rejected it. And so a lot of time most people are like really in the bubble. And so I can't really judge them because, you know, I thank God because He didn't want me to stay in that bubble. He had really revealed some things to me, and so I'm patient and understand how some people may have a hard time or difficult believing it. But some people just don't know. Some people just really do not know, and some people just don't want to know. You have to take that into effect. Some people just don't want to know. They want, well, God is this, and everything's gonna be perfect. Like
And
the
let me tell
minister
you,
that we in, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be
the
perfect.
thing is, no matter how much you try to wake up people,
They just not gonna wake up.
God, if the devil is able to divide time, some people will look at you like you're crazy because in their timeline it's always been this way. A lot of people don't care for the truth. Yeah, you're right. My neighborhood changed noticed last year around November. People had strange new list names out there from another world I never heard of before. And you see, that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. This thing, and see, this is what I don't know if all of it is aligned with one another. Because I do remember God said He's gonna make a new heaven and new earth. I don't know if the new heaven and new earth was gonna be after the devil come or um uh, before he come. Because right now our earth don't look the same. Right now stuff is moving around that ain't is out of place. And I know He said there's gonna be earthquakes in diverse places and things gonna be out of place. So I know the new heaven and new earth shouldn't be here right
Right.
now. But when I look at what some astrologers says that we are no longer on the Sagittarius arm and all that, I'm not sure if that's just a strong delusion or is that fact. But I do know the changes are happening, and I know that we are divided as a people. We divided as a people already, but now we divided in time. So half of the planet don't know that what's happening because ain't nobody told them yet. But half of the planet, they're on the timeline that exists now. So no matter how much you try to persuade them, no matter how much you try to tell them something happening, to them it'll never happen because they're in the timeline that it's been like this. They've been in a timeline where it's been Victoria's Secret or it's been the pen without the S, or it's been Walmart had a tea like this. I was talking to somebody last week, and they were saying we always wrote our T's with a curl on it. I said them was cursive T's. No, we already wrote our small T's like that. I say, but why some of the T's are not crossed?
I think some people just don't know. They just go with the.
And no,
They
no,
just go with culture.
that's because the laws of physics have changed. The laws of atoms and memory engrams have changed. And they know how to do it. And it's the fallen angel technology. But just as long as I've been on the live, and so I don't want to hold y'all too long. And she want to do some lives about the Bible, and so she got to come up with her own little thing. I'm gonna let her share my platform. Y'all let me know when y'all getting tired of hearing her,
Yes,
cause
please
she,
do.
cause she, I don't want her to run y'all away, you know. But any more questions or comments? We have been lied to regarding, yeah,
What
yeah,
you say?
yeah, physical elements, physic elements, yeah. It's all prediction of
Okay.
reality, yeah. And so,
No comments.
I'll talk to you all later, and I thank you all five. I gotta get my audience back up, cause
Thank yes.
I want to be able to see at least 40 people when I go live, so that 40 people can tell 40 more people. And 40, next thing you know, I got a live show with 1,000 people, so we can reach these people. And God bless you,
Thank you guys.
and I thank y'all, and I'm about to find I know I'm gonna do live shows with her on maybe Friday or Saturday because she don't gotta work. I don't know if she want to do it during the weekday, but we'll find out.
And thank you
Yeah,
guys for giving me a chance.
thanks keeping her. God bless you. Peace, brother. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna let her pray out because I always pray. I want you to pray.
Oh, thank you. God, I just thank you for my husband giving me this opportunity on his show. He didn't have to do it. God, I just pray that you just wake um up your people, God. I pray that you just really wake them up, God. Let them see the truth, God. I pray for Ephesians 1:17 over their life. I pray that they have the knowledge and the wisdom of Jesus Christ, God. God, I just pray for peace over their life, God. I just pray they have that relationship with you, God. They get to know you, God. God, I pray that you draw everyone to your spirit, God. I just pray, God, that someone will just look at this video and just um, do their homework, God, do their research, and don't be blind, God. And I just pray for everybody that's out here speaking the truth, the Mandela effect, God. God, I admire them so much, God. I just pray this for my husband and everybody that has a channel, God, they just keep on doing what they doing, God. Their work is not in vain. Um, someone is going it's for someone. It may not be for everybody, God, but just let them continue to do what they have to do. So, peace. Amen.
She gonna say peace. She supposed to say in Jesus' name, amen.
Peace.
And
Amen.
since you messed it up, say what's up with that?
Because I want them to have peace. Peace. Amen.
All
I
right,
want
I'll
you. I
talk
want
to
them to
y'all
have
later.
peace over their life.